Jin, I don't care what you think. I'm running it over when I run it over. What's up, y'all? Welcome, everybody. What? That's like rule one. Oh, my voice is dying. Let my phlegm break up a little more. But that's rule one of the Discord. It's kind of like rule one of the stream. Where are the rules? There you are. Oh, I'm sorry. Number two. Number two is the second rule. No. I'm sorry. It's even worse. It's number three. This isn't a democracy. It's a dictatorship. And I'm El Presidente, a benevolent-ish dictator. So whatever the rules are, I make them up. Rule one, no commies around. Now, rule one is don't be a jerk. Rule two is myself and the moderators have complete discretion on what a jerk is. There we go. I don't know what you saw, if you saw, but they did a server maintenance last night. Yeah, I can tell you why. I can tell you exactly why, because I was playing it yesterday, right after they did their service maintenance, and everything was broken. Their original server maintenance, like the one in the morning. Like nothing was working last night in terms of contracts. That you couldn't spawn ships. Of course, it's CL5 now. Real 5. You too, Radium. I mean, there's no think about it, Solomon. It was rushed out the door. pretty much everyone knows that.
Welcome to the ASOP.
At least I hope so. Because, like, that was clear from day one.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
Thank God. It's actually working now. Yeah, it's basically something that CIG does every year. Every year they get better at it, but it doesn't stop them from being basically a bad end of the year. No, I think base building's coming before 1.0. I don't think 1.0 is coming out until 2027 or 2028. I think internally their goal is to 1.0 by November of 2027. And I think based off of what CIG has said and what CIG is doing, I think that they're going to do something even more dumb. I'm going to take some medicine here in a moment. But they're doing something even more dumb.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Please visit us.
They're going to do something more dumb come next year. Rush all your random game boosts into the game? Yep. 100%. I think CIG is sitting down and looking at what they have left and the rest of the year. They're basically marking July till December as scorched earth. Nothing. We're not touching that at all with any resources because it's all set aside for Squadron. And then they're going to just go hard as fuck into Star Citizen between January and May. So that way they have June to December to sort of do other things in Star Citizen that don't directly require a lot of feature work. So instead of the year of stability, we're going to get the half year of stability because the first half is going to be unstable as shit. It's going to be as unstable as American democracy. And then the second half of the year will just be new things coming in. So the reverse of this year's. Yeah, sort of. All right, I'm gonna get some medicine real quick. I'm trying to think of a less dark way of saying unstable, but I can't think of anything that's more unstable. No, that's even darker. I'm gonna say more unstable than the Florida housing market after a hurricane, but that's also kind of dark.
Hey.
Goodbye. How's it going?
More unstable than a two-legged stool? Yeah. Here's the secret, Cody. It's not going to be ready. CIG is going to get it as ready as possible, but the reality is that whatever you think 1.0 is, you're going to have to strip it back some. There's going to be a lot of compromises because they're going to want to hit a date and then they'll fix it later. Because it's not like 1.0 is the end of the game. It just means that they get out of early access, sort of thing. Hey, Corbs.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Yeah, I do too, man. I also hope my freaking connection behaves. I had to reduce the resolution down to 720 to get the 60 FPS. Man, War, I hope they market it. I am so careful. I'm so scared. It wasn't about the short marketing. It was the thing that they said where they're like, oh yeah, we don't have to market because we've already started marketing. That's what scared the shit out of me.
Vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Well, fuck. Hey, Space Bee. It's the ship dance. Yes.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance claim has been sent. Thank you. Please visit us again.
Now I wait.
Goodbye.
Hey, Polonius. That's the problem, Space Pumpkin Dave. A lot of Star Citizen's success rides on word of mouth, and it rode on word of mouth, combined with content creators, combined with a very passionate community. And all those things work well for a game that's in development. It's a multiplayer game. But when you're releasing a game to live, completed game, it's a single player experience, you really need a little bit more of a push, a little bit more of an advertisement blitz to get people over the line. And him saying, we've already done X, Y, or Z, so we don't need a long blitz, making me go, oh, fuck, no. No. You're just saying you don't need advertisements? This is a bad idea. I don't want to go over too much. It's just, that is my concern. Do I believe that CIG has competent professionals who work for them? Of course. Do I believe that competent professionals can't make mistakes? Absolutely not. Competent professionals make mistakes all the time. When I worked in marketing, I often worked with people who had much bigger degrees and much more time in the field than I did, and they were making basic mistakes because, trust me, bro, and it blew up in their face.
Welcome.
Marketing is a vibes-based system. There are definite rules and there's definite things. A lot of it is psychology, economics, but when it comes down to it, the real important thing about marketing is the numbers don't lie. Now, I know this would never happen, but I would feel so much more comfortable knowing what their internal numbers are saying in terms of what is the brand awareness of Squadron. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Calders are actually going, yeah, fine, fuck it, Chris. Chris, go play with your space toys. We'll deal with the marketing. Maybe that's what he means by like non-long drawn out campaign. He's just giving it to an outside source, which is what I was hoping for in the first place, because the Calders do have an advertisement firm. I think multiple advertisement firms that they run, and that's fine. That's good. Having somebody outside of CIG's purview doing something is always a good thing because they're getting outside help for things that they don't necessarily know. Because nobody in CIG, as far as I understand in their marketing team, has ever launched a game.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
There could be some brand managers who've been part of launches, but I don't think anyone has helmed a launch, an activation. They also think that Star Citizen fans spending record money on ships means they're doing everything right. I mean, are they wrong? As much as people do not... Oh, wow. I'm just getting a lot of that junk out. As much as people often worry about Star Citizen or complain about Star Citizen, myself included, the reality is that the data they're seeing is obviously telling them that whatever they're doing is right. Not just money, but we know that the new accounts went up. We know that playtime has gone up. We know that overall stability has gone up because people are staying in longer. People are engaging with the game longer. So they're like, well, we're doing everything right. I know you're talking to Cody, but what I just said was all stuff we know about. They do, only sort of. For instance, in the letter to the chairman, Chris said,
Your vehicle has been delivered to
I was in marketing research, so data is what I'm used to. I need the fucking numbers, man. They said they had an increase of player hours from 48 million to 64 to 68 million. I don't know exactly, but it's like almost a third increase in play hours between 2024 and 2025. They had less disconnects per million users than they had previously. They said it like I said, in the letter to the chairman. Yeah. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. To the best of my knowledge, is a better way of saying things. But the problem is that people disrespect like gut instinct. And from my personal experience, often gut instinct is more right than you realize because your gut understands there's something wrong. And if you're experienced with something and something is saying this is wrong, there's something wrong. The human brain is very good. It's the best analytical machine that has ever existed as far as we understand. Even the most average human brain. It's super fucking complex. That doesn't mean that always your guts are right, gut instinct is right, but there's a reason why it's there. But when you say something like that, people go, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm like, nah, it should be the start of getting facts. Almost a 50% increase. Yeah, it's 20 million or so increase in hours. The 50%, it's like a 51% decrease in logouts, meaning like less people were logging out because of crashes. And that makes sense from what I've seen in game and what I've experienced. Does that mean it's perfect? Absolutely not. But it's gotten better overall. The problem often comes down to, and I know everyone's gonna get sick and tired of me saying this, but it's communication. How CIG talks about it. They've pulled back on ISCs, on SCLs. Why? Because those people are busy doing work, so they can't be talking. But that means that there's less to talk about from those perspectives. And from the fan community, we're used to seeing those people talking, and if we don't see those people talking, we see them, we don't immediately go, they're working, that's why they're not talking. We go, they're hiding something because we don't see them. What's the change? And CIG is bad at saying, and this is true, I really hope, I don't know how they would do better, but I think that because they've tried doing things like going over people and like shouting in their ear, this is not a finished game. We're still working on it, guys. You gotta understand that when you play the game, it's not finished. Stop playing your game like a finished game. And people just don't get it, don't give a shit. They don't read. But also, CIG is woefully bad at explaining John Crew and Ben Curtis and Zach and Ian and I'm trying to think of all of the people I know, the names I know of folks. Thorsten, all of these folks have a job to do. They do their job. And if they're not on camera, it's because they're doing their job. And if they're not on camera because they're not doing their job, it's also because they're humans and they have families and lives outside of their job. And if you don't see them on screen, or if CIG doesn't do these content, it's because they're working on the game. And I know this sounds like copium, or sounds like white knighting, and I guarantee you it's not. I would much rather them work on the game and get it out than be on ISC. But it's clear that doesn't work, because people still expect updates, even if they see updates on screen in terms of Star Citizen. I'm glad to hear that, Berserk Shadow. I hope that's the case for a lot of folks who aren't having issues. People will have time for hours of social media and gaming, but can't spend 5 minutes reading a post by CIG. I mean, that's true. But CIG has also screwed themselves because they have a decentralized network of information. How do you get your Star Citizen news? Chat. Just, it's like, where do you get your sources of news? Is it me? Is it a bot on Discord? Is it posts on social media? Is it a YouTube creator? Is it a Twitch creator? Is it your friend?
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space.
I'm just new to this game and don't know what the hell I'm doing. Good luck, buddy. If you have any questions, let me know.
Ever.
I've been playing this game for like 12 years. 11 years, I guess.
BSRK Shad 0W has subscribed.
Thank you so much, Berserk Shadow, for that Prime sub. You're very important, Pupper, very impressive, Pennsylvania pedestrian. This, your father's from drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. And the time to go up. Time to go up. I read emails, watch videos, and they're produced. All the newsletters and monthly reports, etc. But, you know. Decoupled. Yeah, that's the thing. Warzhack, that's what I'm trying to point out. And you can already see this. That, like, people get their information from a variety of different news sources, which is good, but there's no central place to pull all of this information. There's no central hub for this information. And the worst part is, if there is, it's probably created by a fan, not by CIG. So CIG has given up the narrative of how to talk about the game to fans. And fans are going to be hyped about specific things. Like, I read the monthly reports every time they release. So does Tomato. But we pick out certain things that other people don't see because we have biases towards certain things. And those biases will lead us to focus on certain things rather than others. To quote execute, it makes all of us talking together very enlightening because we'll find things that other people don't see. But it doesn't make for a clear communications route. So somebody like, not to put you on the spot there, Berserk Shadow, but like Berserk Shadow, who's new to the game, probably doesn't have a central hub of information to get all this information from. So they're relying on word of mouth. Thus, for CIG to be like, listen, here's the situation, here's what we're doing about it. They're relying on their like million-plus player base to all get that information through the information pipeline. They've tried, right? Like they've done the it's on, like, a lot of new stuff is now starting on the posted on the launcher, which is a good move. But they kind of need like a Star Citizen like news hub. Like Galnet for Elite. You're good. You're all good. I've been looking at websites and ships like the TikTok and stuff like that. Yeah, see, like my point My point being is that every single person's got a different route, and there should always be at least a central hub somewhere that's not just rumors. That's not rumor space, I should say. That's excluding rumors. That tells people, hey, this is where you go for this, that, or the other thing. This is 4 units of slam. I know CIG loves their in-fiction stuff, so if they just did like an SSN TV front page, they'd probably do too much lore. I was gonna say, you could do it with like a little meta section. I'm at the stage where I can diagnose what the problem is. I don't know the solution, other than, you know, building some sort of central repository of all this information. Which is possible, but it takes a lot of work and effort. Hey, Body, how you doing? I get that reference there, Corbin. We placed the plan on the bulletin board in the basement of City Hall. I mean, for the long time, Message of the Day was great, but that relies on the team on Waka's team. Great people, wonderful folks, but like, I don't know how much Waka knows. Love me some C-Daddy, but like, at the end of the day, Proxys and C-Daddy and stuff like that are, but like, they're central hub, but they're disconnected from the marketing team, which is disconnected from the development team. Hey, Fire Rats. Yeah, that's the thing. War. It shouldn't be on us, because we don't have control over those factors. I love you too. Oh, I see, Daddy. But it's also hard to manage a company the size of CIG in a way that doesn't just end up in, this could have been an email like 100 times and slowing down progress.
You are clear to launch.
So I recognize the dilemma they're in. I'm just at the stage where it's like, the real solution to the problem lies somewhere in communications. And I have ideas of how they might be able to fix it, but at the end of the day, I don't work for CIG. They don't pay me shit. Despite popular opinion, which is really funny whenever I hear people like, oh, he's just a paid shill. Like, man, I don't get paid shit from CIG. Solutions to pay me. No, it wouldn't. That wouldn't be a good solution. Just because I recognize a problem doesn't mean I know this. I know the actual answer. Like I said, it would be nice to do something like a central hub, but I don't know how you would build it, because that would require dev resources. how to make it easy and usable by multiple members of the development team, how to get the approval and create a approval process so that everyone is okay with it, you know. I already said my solution is a centralized hub. They need to build a centralized hub where all the information they have is repository into a single, like page, an easily access page, one that gets duplicated on the front page of CIG's website and on the launcher, and is accessible through social media. An easy place to point to when someone goes, what the fuck is going on with Star Citizen? You can just go, boom. An official Discord server would work. But I don't think an official Discord server is a solution to the problem. It is a means to distribute the solution to the problem. Oh, man. Berserk. The game is beautiful in my eyes. It's very beautiful in my eyes. I just wish the game would run better with frames. It does work on DLSS. I'll show you real quick. I have an AMD, but I had an old DLSS. I had a 2070 Super, and it worked okay. If you go down to upscaling technique, they have... it won't show it here, but... they have a DLSS, and you can set it to whatever you need to. So you should have access to DLSS with that one. Devs are great. You need to comment everything, so you do. And they still ask you what something does, and all they literally has to do is comments. No different from getting information out of players. No problem. Yeah, use a DLSS, which is an upscaler, which should give you a little bit more frames. But it is sort of frame interpolation, so. Jin, the issue isn't that what kind of information I want, it's that I want information to be centralized. Instead of a fire hose of information, it should be set into a central hub where everyone can access. Because right now, people are relying on too many different streams of information to fully understand what's real and what's not. Because if you had a central hub saying something like, hey, we can't get people to come in SCL or ISC because they're working on the game, and we would prefer that they work on the game than SCL or ISC. So we're not going to have as many SCLs or ISCs because they're working on the game. But you need to have a place to post that. On SCL or ISC, obviously, but also in a location where people can go watch that as to, well, why haven't we had all this information, you know? Yeah. The comlinks is too muddled because the comlinks also don't cover random shit set on Spectrum by developers, which is important shit to understand. It doesn't cover like summaries of monthly reports. It doesn't cover video content. Honestly, information for the player base is good information. It needs more readily available inside their launch or main website. It would be better to hear more full-on mainstream information from creators, hearing positions, opinions of the game. That would also work too. That would at least part of it. Because CIG already partners with many creators. So posting like Board Gamer or Mike stuff.
Dem biddies.
Thank you for them biddies. No, I get it. Common use of Central Hub, it's not just good enough. It's just not good enough. Yeah. It just needs to expand a little bit more. The solution to the problem is throw more money at it, and that's never a solution you want to see, because it's like, you should hire somebody to do that. A data aggregator. Somebody's job is to look at everything that CIG posts, and, because they already have dev trackers, So just take the dev trackers and then summarize the dev trackers and put them in comm links, or even link them. But like conversation with Thorsten, you know. So instead of me getting random messages for being like, hey, did you see this information about the graphics updates that are changing, or the brackets changing for method for trading that they're going to implement, we actually get, you know, that published on the comlink. Yeah, like Highlander in the economy. Like that's my point. That should have been an official post somewhere. Mike is positive a lot of times, guys. Erasmus' little workaround is they have the little in-game advertisements through the lore of the game. They can implement something in the game, something you can see in your eyes. They kind of do that, but it's also important just to do something with stuff. I mean, they already have a front page of their website. They just might need a person in the team responsible for gathering short weekly digest. That's what I mean. Yeah. Question: are they currently working on the Mist Odyssey? No, we don't know. The short answer is no, but the longer answer is we don't know. The fact that Jared was put in a position to apologize to the community about broken freight elevators was totally avoidable, but CIG decided to not communicate to us that they were using the event to find problems with the freight elevators. It's not even that they were using it for finding problems with the freight elevators. It's that it was more... It was more extensive than they initially thought. And they didn't have the tools of the team to fix it in the time that they hoped for. And things broke that they didn't realize. And that elevator situation is another example that, like, we knew that shit was broken for a long time. People had been making posts and stuff like that. But one of the things they hadn't really done is done a lot of sentiment mapping. They have an entire team whose job is to do player feedback. They gloat about it because it's like one of the only teams that exists of that nature for a game, for like a game company. Like, it's part of CDaddy's team, but it's not CDaddy's department specifically. But that team includes like people like Wikipedia. Bear of Red. Like, these are community members who were community members, and I mean, CDaddy was a community member before he came a job. He worked for CIG as well, but I mean, like, these are community members who, in many cases, were content creators, so they understand how the community works. Oh, I fly the twin sticks. Is he trying to attack me? She's trying to eat the blue guideline, yeah. Here you go, kitty. Woo! Woo. I prefer twin sticks. The HOTUS is probably a little bit more flexible, but I would always say the T16000Ms are a great introductory stick. They're about $100 per stick. But you can get two of them for like $200. Sometimes they're on sale for like $150 for two, and they work great. They're pretty cheap for what they do. They'll give you a good solid 6 months to a year of content, or like kind of like using them. And so they're really replaceable. All right, so where do we need to go? Sears Canyon and Last Landings. Okay. I think they're right next to each other. Before we get there, let's go to Gaslight. Oh, no. Sears Canyon is over in Pyro 5. Gaslight is beyond it. No, so let's not go to Gaslight. Let's go to Rod's Fuel and Go. There we go. Left hand mean right hand. I mean, and that's another problem. I do think that's another problem that CIG is happening. This is not with like me talking with CIG about this. This is just my observations in terms of just and understanding that a company with 1,000 people isn't going to meet frequently. There are going to be people who work in the same studio on the same floor of a studio who don't know who the fuck each other are, because if your job is like art, even if you work on the same floor as somebody who's working on the mission team, if you don't have a specific job that crosses over, you may never know who the fuck they are. You know, like even on Austin, it's a pretty big campus. Yeah, people would have ignored the big red banner, Alec. They already did things. They have the like live certain and some service maintenance stuff. A lot of what CIG's problems are is that they're reactive instead of proactive. They are reacting to situations rather than proactively seeing the situations happening and going ahead with it. Every time they're proactive about something, it usually goes pretty well. Like, they were pretty proactive about 318. They were like, hey, we know this is going to be bad. We're going to release it anyway because we have to. Here are the reasons why this is going to be bad. We're going to do our best to fix it. Was it bad? Yes. Did it kill some of the momentum? Yes. But it was not nearly as bad as it could have been. Same thing happened with 4.0. They were proactive rather than reactive, where they set 4.0 on its own separate track. And were there things that were bad? Yes. But generally speaking, I don't know many people who have a worst experience ever with 4.0 because it was very optional opt-in early on. Team building exercise inside CIG, mandatory fun day. If the Logitech flight stick is fine, but it's cheap. Which Logitech flight stick are you talking about? Because there's also the old Cytec, which is now owned by Logitech. Are we talking about the Rhino? Are we talking about the X52 or X56? Basically is what I'm looking at right now. The Cytec one. I've used the X52. That was my first one I used. I don't know if they've gotten better. But the problem that the Cytec, the X52 brand had for a while was absolutely shit quality assurance. So they would often break very quickly. They were very expensive. They broke very quickly. But I did have good experiences with SciTech. Yeah, I tend to favor Thrustmaster because Thrustmaster tends to build a little bit more heavy duty. And their latest models are pretty good. The problem is that you're also looking at a little bit more expensive. VKB is not bad either, because it lets you program stuff. I have gunfighters. But you can get some decent stuff from VKB for pretty cheap. Like the Gladiator's not bad. There's also the Omni Throttle. Like, to give you context, you can get a Gladiator NXT Space Combat Edition left and right for about $240. A little under $240, probably like $260 with taxes and stuff like that. Which is about $100 more expensive than VKB, or than the X52, but I guarantee you they'll last longer. I have the gunfighters, the space gunfighters, which are basically the old Warthog sticks. They might be the F-16 sticks. It looks like the Gladiator NXT is my stick. No, it's not my stick. It looks like it has the same stick, but the base is a little different. Come on, baby, slow down. You got Thrustmaster AVA base and Soul Arc sticks. They're on big scale, big stick. Yeah, the Souls are really good. Those are the latest ones. I hope Yogi's new stick mapping menu comes in 2026. Like a lot of stuff with development right now, it seems like CIG is limited by access to the UI team. Yeah, unfortunately, you either have two options when it comes to sticks. You either have cheap, which is easily kind of like expendable. It's easily you can easily replace, but they break frequently, or expensive, but they're like 4 times as expensive as the cheap, but they work. They require a little bit more understanding and stuff like that, but. So my stick, my right stick is left, roll right, roll left, strafe up, straight, like pitch up, pitch down, and then roll right, roll left, and then or yaw, pitch and roll, and my left stick is forward and back thrust, up and down strafe, and right and left strafe. So like right now, left stick. And then thrust forward, pitch left, roll, collide something.
Landing gear up.
I still have to go to my mouse and keyboard when I go into the map, though. Increase, decrease altitude in terms of like pitch up and like go up and down. In terms of like a strafe up and strafe down, it's roll. It's like a twist on the stick for my left stick. I don't use rudders, but I know people do. Like pedals. Yeah, not roll. Thank you. Yeah, left and right, and then roll is twist on the stick for my right stick. The reason why twin sticks works a little bit better in Star Citizen is because Star Citizen is based in space. So you have that 6 degrees of access. It works well also with games like Elite, Star Wars Squadrons, and No Man's Sky I don't think uses like everything, but yeah. Though if Yogi's new flight model is even more egg-shaped, then twin stick might be as meaningful. It's fine. It's a matter of like ease of use for me, not necessarily an advantage. Because you still need 6 degrees of freedom. You still need strafe up, strafe down, left and right, forward and back. Even if you, like Elite does, where you, like, artificially limit one of those aspects, so you have more roll rather than left and right, I think is what it was. Yeah. It's our immersion, not gameplay. Just so you know, we've been going for an hour. We still have 3 hours left. Hour, 4 minutes. We've yeah. So we've increased it by about 5 minutes. It's fine. We may or may not do Captain's Table. I have to double check to see if anyone who's good with it, because we did have a couple people who said they were down for it. All right, let me. We might do it. Only because Nightcop was like, hey, I'm willing to do it. So I'm like, hey, anybody else willing to do it? And both Griff and Access were like, yeah, let's do it. So. So we may do a situation where if we don't quite reach the time to go over the Captain's Table, then we'll just do, we'll kind of end the stream before it and then restart it. It's the year-end review. Mopar will be the topic. I'm wondering if the new atmospheric flight model will nerf horizontal strafe like Elite did, so it's more airplane control. I think that it will. Hey, Husker Du. Servers are much more stable than they were yesterday. If you're a fan of the HOTAS, do the HOTAS. There's nothing wrong with the HOTAS. The one thing you might need to do is map the strafe buttons on like a D-pad, which is usually on the end of a HOTAS. I'm not too familiar with the F-22 like stick, but yeah, you can use HOTAS for other games. My hope is that Ace Combat 8 actually lets me fucking use my goddamn sticks. Hodees nuts? Yes. Hey, CX. Omni throttle might be a good solution because it gives you the option of making a throttle, also making it a three-dimensional. That also is a solution. If you have the funds, getting a like the X52, and then getting a left hand, or just getting a Sol R, which I think is a swappable, so you can swap it to left hand stick. Then you can just swap back and forth. It'll be a little awkward because you'll be handling two different types of sticks, but you'll get used to it. Again, not for meta, but for immersion and feel. Seven had stick support, but it was a very specific stick support, and if you had your own sticks, it wouldn't map. You couldn't map them. It was just generically on there. Yes, it's much better today, Seikaru. So far. So far. The one thing I usually say about sticks is if you're going to get sticks, do not get them just for one game. Unless you're going to play the shit out of that game. Like, I literally do this and I get money for it. So, getting sticks makes sense. And I was lucky enough that I participated in the community long enough that these sticks were basically a gift by VKB. They give it to me for free for working with the esports league we have in Star Citizen. Not really an esports league, sort of. Called Atmo Esports. They invited me and paid for me to go out to CitizenCon for one of their tournaments. And I did, and one of the thank yous was they gave us twin gunfighters. And like mounts, because those were their so I was super lucky. But I did have my own Thrustmaster T60000M for a long time. I still have them. Hey, Noodly, how you doing? Hey y'all, Bill in new PC. I'm going from a Ryzen 3600 to an RTX 6700 XT to a Ryzen 7 9070 XT. Yes, you should. To give you context, I went from a Intel i7... What am I resting on? I think I have the engines on. Is the wind just blowing it like that? Oh, no, it's in the front. Okay. I went from an Intel i7 11700K and a 2070 Super to basically what you're talking about. That's what I have right now. And it gave me an increase of a good 20 FPS to 100 FPS, depending on location. Yeah, just in a bad position. Yeah, that's not good either. Let's see if we can find a better landing location. No, there's two, right? No, it's not really two. This is it. Fudge. Okay. It should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. I love the Freelancer. All right, where am I? Where am I? Sears Canyon. Okay. So we need 16 SU of pollen. And then I need Slam and ETAM. Are those for Wicklow? No, these aren't for Wicklow. These are for the Dead Saints. It's one of the new illegal interstellar stuff. Yeah, unverified, thank you. I'm just working for the orphans. Working for the orphanage. Sister Superior, TCU Pacheco. Is just helping me, having me help the orphans sell their wares. Listen, this is all artisanal made herbal supplements, okay? Made by orphans of the Stanton system, specifically for use by the wonderful people of Pyro, okay? I mean, the ETAM is actually tea, yeah. For orphans, by orphans. They are running properly today, yes. It's not that they ask too many questions. It's that why are you asking questions? Why are you talking about? Why are you investigating Our Lady of the Dead Saints? They do nothing but charitable work. How dare you defame the name of Sister Superior T.C. Pacheco? I'm sorry. Do you love kicking orphans or something like that? I just had to use it because the joke, for those of you who are new, the joke is that whenever I'm doing completely legitimate extracurricular activities with capitalism, I say, because where you could do this before and purchase these medicinal herbs was through a place called the Orphanage in Stanton, and I started using the euphemism of I'm just helping the orphans out, because you go to the orphans to buy their medicinal supplements. And then the fact that they made Tisa Pacheco the head of her own gang called the Dead Saints, and it just works so fucking well. Sister Superior of Our Lady of the Dead Saints. Yeah, that's the idea. No one would question it if you said that Our Lady of the Dead Saints is an orphanage. It's an arts and crafts project, exactly. I'm on a mission from God, chat. That's what I'm saying. I don't have the right ones, but I'm on a mission from God. The light was yellow, sir. Yeah, she's the Area 18 mission giver. No, her gang is called the Dead Saints, so. They talked about expanding that game loop for 1.0. Yeah, the idea is that you'll be scanning is the loop. It's flight, scanning, and what are they called? Finding the transient jump points so you can get around scans and such. May have to head to Ruin. Yep. It's at the rat's nest. I mean, they haven't talked explicitly about cargo masking, but it's something they've talked about in the past. But I imagine that's stealth it's gonna come in with whatever, or it's gonna be part of whatever is their new scanning gameplay. Listen, the cops would always stop and scan me after I'd already done my business. All right? It was profiling, okay? It was profile, like classic profiling, because I was helping out the orphanage. I'm still gonna forge backwards strafe and just gonna stick with it until it feels natural. That makes sense. What was funny? You nailed an N50 with a size 5? Nice. That's fast size torp? So this is there's nuclear material detected on this cart of toys. Also, this is a Wendy's. Go next door. So House Skidoo, the key with the MSR is you have a smuggling hold, and it's like, well, everyone knows about the smuggling hold. Yes, but if you're hauling regular cargo, it's really hard to tell if you're going to be smuggling as well. So that's why you always haul regular cargo while you're also smuggling. The old Lord of War technique. Not many inspectors are willing to inspect potatoes, a shipment of potatoes in the tropical, subtropical heat. I still got my my King of Prussia. Have one container of guns under 50 containers of rice or potatoes and whatnot? Exactly. It's all about putting containers in a way that shields the other containers from being scanned, and or making it so that it's so convoluted that you don't really know, and you make it so it's such a small margin that you're still gonna make a little bit of money off of whatever you're hauling that's not the smuggling stuff, but it's enough that people go, yeah, it's just a trader. No, I agree. The Intrepid would make a great smuggling ship. Nope, I don't think the removal of data running as a thing is coming, Saint, because then they would have to rework the Herald, which is exclusively a data runner. I believe that data running is still going to be a thing because physical data transfers will still take time. It's the simplest solution to the problem is so that you can have interstellar communications, but interstellar packets, data packets, is slow and unsecure. It's like the first days of Telegram. Simple messages, not downloading Witcher 3. Basically, the idea of doing interstellar communications is so that they can tell stories easier and can justify in-game communications being interstellar instantaneously, being able to contact people across systems. They're clearly struggling with that narratively for like years now. The only reason why they had that ban on interstellar communications was because of, or restriction of interstellar communications was because they wanted to do data running. And I know everyone's freaking out. This is an example of CIG not communicating properly. So, like, people are like, oh, well, I'm gonna get mad now because the ship I purchased specifically for this gameplay loop that I want to do is no longer existing because you're taking it out of existence because I saw this article that you did in lore. And not explaining why they're doing that. It's like, just tell us, guys. I personally like the little puzzles that happen, but, you know, it'd also be nicer just to say, hey, we're changing what we're doing with data running. Here's the plan. Or no, just because we're changing interstellar communications rule doesn't mean we're going to change. We're gonna change these basic gameplay aspects.
Landing gear down.
Any ideas on what the exploration game loop is going to be? Oh, Mopar. Have you not heard my rant on this? I've been saying for years that no matter what, Star Citizen is not Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky. You're not just going to set out in a direction and discover new star systems. That's just not how the game is built. The more likely thing they're going to do is what you're not going to be a explorer, you're going to be a cartographer.
Quantum fuel at 100%.
A surveyor. Your job is to go out to an area that's already been scanned and rescan it to update maps. Hey, you're not Lewis and Clark, you're Mason Dixon. Mason and Dixon.
Landing gear up.
So you'll go for an average exploration mission. You will get a various region, and you're expected to scan that region. Once you scan that region, you take whatever data you gather from that, you return back to a location, and you upload the data to that location. Now, sometimes that region might have unique, interesting things where you can go explore and find those things out. Get more loot or rare resources. But most of the time, it's go to point A, scan. Go to point B, scan. Go to point C, scan. Congratulations, return to the base and upload data. And I think, while I know that sounds boring, I think what most explorers want to do isn't necessarily find new things, it's be immersed and awestruck by the game. Because at some point, you'll be doing a mapping mission on a planet, and you'll come down to, like, you'll plant your ship down on a mountain peak and set up a hand scanner, and you'll just stop for a moment. The music will swell. You'll look over. You'll see the cloud barrier beneath you, as you'll see the sun rising and some trees climbing up their way on top of a mountain, and you'll be like, "God damn, this is beautiful." And that's part of the gameplay loop. Part of the gameplay loop is just being pretty as shit. CIG knows how to make pretty shit. Like, that's something they're really good at. So if they leaned into that with exploration, I think they would cut off a lot of the sting of what exploration really is going to be, which is scanning. It's mapping. Just give places where people can go roam around. And then sometimes you'll find like rare resources or a derelict or pirates, whatever. Like, but like it's going to be randomized. And then if you're doing it on your own, I've always said the best, most unutilized location that CIG could use is the Oort Cloud, the extreme edges of every system, because you could just randomize the fuck out of it. You go to this region here and you see a comet. By the time you leave, that comet is gone. You go to this region, you see a derelict. By the time you come back, the derelict has been stripped clean. In a perfect world, the extreme edges of the system are the playground where they can use procedural generation to create cool things. And that's where explorers will go to take advantage of the cool shit that's also going to be very valuable. But if you're doing the gameplay loop where you're working for the companies, you're just going to be going to locations inside the system that have already been mapped and remapping them. I don't think we're cartographers, more like the first colonists in the New World. No, we're not the first colonists in the New World. We're more like Mason and Dixon. The like fourth generation colonists that are just mapping out an area that people have gone through for years and just remapping it. The Freelancer is so good. The Max is so good, guys. It has a huge QT fuel tank for its size. It holds more cargo than a Corsair. It doesn't have the range of Corsair. I think it holds more cargo than a Star Runner. There's very few ships even bigger than it that have its size, and like a size up, that have the same size of cargo. Or Cloud ones would take a lot of fuel, would make sense for the Expo ship fuel tanks. That, and it would make sense for group work. So you have like, fuel trucks that come with you, gather fuel, or will like stage. So you have points as you go out further into the black. And it would make sense for using the Carrack and long-range explorers like that, because that's what those things are designed for. So let them have their legs. Let them run. What's the most cozy ship in the verse? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's the cutter. The base cutter is the most cozy ship in the verse. Now, if you're going for aesthetically cozy, then it's probably the Intrepid or the 300. Yes, that is true too, Husker Du. The most aesthetics comfy ship in the verse was the Bangstang, and CIG fucking murdered my boy. They took my boy around back and they blew his brains all over the barn. Cartographers is a romantic view, but not a realistic. What are you talking about? How is that not realistic? You're a map maker. You're not making new maps, though. You're just updating old maps. How's that not realistic? It's less realistic that you're going to be finding things for the first time ever. Satellites. Satellites in deep space? Porter Eye is good, but it's not really cozy. It's cozy for its size. Oh, fuck, I didn't see that many ships. Is there another? Probably isn't. Wait. Possibly. Maybe. Yes. No. I get what you're saying in the sense that, like, today we have satellites, and back in around planets, they probably would have satellites similarly, which could map everything. That doesn't mean we don't have cartographers today, or that people don't go to specific locations to map out areas, because a satellite view isn't always 100% accurate. Because you can only see so much from a satellite view. There's a reason why Google still uses Google Streetcars to get information. They don't just use satellites. Is it up? No, it's not up. Not only that, what the fuck? What the fuck's pushing me? It's supposed to be a storm? Fuck off. What the fuck is pushing me? No, I get the understanding. I get the understanding, the idea that, like, you know, satellites have made it very easy for us to map out areas, so we don't necessarily need individual cartographers. But you got to remember that there's a lot of fucking space in Star Citizen. Even Stanton, which seems small, is small in the sense that we travel through it pretty quickly, but it's still a huge amount of areas. And most of the spaces which are not actively traveled would probably not have any sort of monitoring stations or satellites to update areas. Because why would you spend money to map out an area you're not using? And maybe you mapped it out once, but you probably wouldn't have a dedicated satellite with resources and other things like that to use. And maybe it's you used it till it's dead and then you didn't bother replacing it because you didn't find anything there. So there's going to be a lot of space that aren't explored. And there's a lot of places on planets which won't be really explored either, simply because there's no reason to explore those regions unless you go out there. So even if you have a satellite that's updating you in generally what's going on, that doesn't give you soil samples, that doesn't give you flora and fauna. And so you can, you know, hand wave a little bit and say, we're going to do a dedicated scanner where we put down this little scanner thing and it'll scan the region a little bit more intensely because it's closer to the ground and has these specific things we wanted to build, you know. Hey, Paul, I'm just saying, do you think drones will be a thing in Star Citizen? Yes and no. Not in terms of like automatic salvage box moving. I do think that they'll be there for some automated work, but a lot of it's going to be hand done.
Landing gear up.
Do you really think they won't just finish the 600 rework as Origin this year? No, I think that's going to be the G12. HL Magnet. The mule is kind of useless, yeah, unfortunately. What's your thoughts on Beam Citizen? Some people say it's a placeholder. What's your intuition? It's not a placeholder. It's the game. Oh, you want me to pull up the Beam Citizen burger video? Okay. A little too far. A little too far. All right, well. That ruin was right around Terminus. It is, okay. No, it's doing better now. I mean, repair beam, what's the difference between a repair beam and just, like, doing a generic animation against the side of a ship? I say ironically, but I think, honestly, you get more immersion out of shooting a beam at a ship than you do if you just walked up and went, chunk, 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 chunk. You know, you were never gonna have bespoke. What was that game? The one about the salvaging game. Fuck off. A lot of enemies. They're all abandoned, though.
Landing gear down.
Hard space shipbreaker, thank you. You were never going to have hard space shipbreaker, but in reverse for crafting. That just takes up too much resources and too much time.
All right.
Vintage Story, I think, is also not nearly as big as Star Citizen, and it's much more simplistic, which allows it to get away with that sort of more intense crafting and building mechanic. The fuck? There we go. Open doors make you choke right now, regardless of the ship's in ammo or not? Oh, okay. Just one so far. I can throw more if you want. All right, I'll be right back, chat. Like I said, we're doing a mini Pub-A-Thon. We got 2 hours left. We've been going for about 2 hours. So we've still got about... we've added about 4 minutes to the timer. So if we reach our full hours, our goal of 8 hours, we'll do a giveaway. If not, it's fine. We'll kind of we'll take a break and we'll do Captain's Table. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow, though, or Monday. Because I kind of want to get some other stuff done. Be right back, chat. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy the chair.
weapons free, y'all.
Stand by for Titanfall.
I'm fly. I'm pilot.
Genesis?
I'm just an old-fashioned cowboy.
Good news, everyone!
Drugs.
Everybody and his dog calls himself an outlaw.
Drugs.
2 words. Distress bacon. Words. Distress bacon.
Barcelona! Barcelona! Genesis?
Everybody and his dog calls himself an outlaw.
Hey, Bops, you came in at the perfect time. You want to dance? I'll give you a dance. Everyone from Bob's Stream, my name is Paul Berserker 01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astro Pub, your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. Sorry, I was taking a break for a moment. I have some need of some minor assistance from, if you don't mind. Sure, what's up there, Jakaro? Need to refill this thing.
Beastion just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you for Beastion for getting those 5 subs. You're very important, Pepper. Very impressive. Mr. Very impressive. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Paying for the sub from Shimpasta. Fuck yes. Got a level 2 hype train coming.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
All right, let me take a look at it.
But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Alex K _ blah blah has subscribed.
Thank you so much for Alex K. Blah blah blah. That's a great name. Twitch Prime sub. You're very important, Papa. Very impressive. Mr. Very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Hey man, that's the plan. That's why I do it. I do the dance because people are like, "Hey, I want to see you dance." It's like, okay, you pay me and I will dance. Are we humans or are we dancer? Yes. Right. Did you report this to the volunteer help desk? Joe Freak, or...
Istreamustri just gifted 5 subs.
Astro Stream, thank you so much for giving those 5 subs. You're a very important pupper, very impressive, Mr. Very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Yeah, but that issue, which looks like it's exception access violation, comes with like disabling XMP in BIOS on very fast memory, but this error can be observed because everything from bad memory to audio driver and compatibility of the graphics card. God damn. Just add that time, I guess.
Istreamustri just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you so much for giving those 5 subs there. You're very important, Papa. Very impressive. Mr. Very position. You rock. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Paul, when you join the Fire Rats, will they allow you to continue your jovial dancing, perhaps a tribute to the solar flares of Pyro? Sure. Though I don't plan on joining them as much as helping them. They're the only faction I would consider joining outside of the PAL, only because, like, it'll be a cold day in hell if that the UEE takes over Levski. Fucking Hammerhead pilots look sane compared to me when it comes to when it comes to dealing with that for those of you who don't know, it's implied, I don't think CIG has the balls, but it's implied that the UEE is going to annex Nyx. Which means that we're heading to a conflict between the UEE and the People's Alliance, who, if you've been watching any of if you watch the like the newspaper headline that they did, they seriously do not want to be annexed. Yeah, from the terraforming. And I'm like, if CIG has the balls that pit players against players, like, you know, pick sides, join the PAL or the UEE and fight for the future of Nyx. I am not a PvP player, but Lord help you if you are a PvP player helping the fucking feds, because I will fucking it There are genocides that will look more tame compared to what I will do to protect the Levski. Not even because I like Levski or the PAL, but because fuck you, UEE. Absolutely not. I don't have a problem with the fire rats. I like the fire rats.
Alex _ blah blah just gifted 5 subs.
You can hire me, and the regulators will go to war with you. I will do anything in my power to protect Levski from the UE.
Them biddies.
Thank you for them biddies. Thank you for that. Those subs there, Alex K. You're very important puppers, very impressive. This is very pedestrians. You rock. Shouts and cheers and check. Shouts and cheers. You going full cis Canadian, bud? I mean, yeah, kinda. That's too large. Go to Rustville. All right. I don't know how many players will back the UEE. There will be those who are like, the UEE are the good guys by default. And we want to be on good terms with the UEE. And then there's people like me who I guess has a little too much Texan in me. Too much American. We're like, no. You can take this land over my dead body. All right, I'm gonna lurk. Sleep is 3 a.m. Appreciate you having you too, dude. Have a good night. I'll go Voltaire. I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend you to the death your right to say it. Yeah. The People's Alliance are a bunch of ineffectual hippies. But I like Levski. And I like the fact that the vibe of Levski. And it would be entirely different if the fucking feds took over. If they even do it, they're Space Pumpkin Dave. That's the thing. Is I don't think they have the balls to go a PvP event between the UEE and the PAL. Because here's the thing. The number of people I know who wanted to join the space racists, not because the space racists were space racists, but because they were anti-corporate, was way fucking high. And a lot of them, almost all of them were PvP like orgs and people. So like you pit the UEE against the PAL, you would have the most toxic motherfuckers on the PAL side to ruin the UEE's day. And here's the thing: if they do a war, here, let me show you what I mean. I'm going to tell you what this fight is going to look like. You've seen this before. I don't know if that's hogwash or not. You've seen this commercial. Two human sides fighting against each other leads to a final standoff between capital ships. And what happens at the very end? The Vanduul show up. And instead of fighting each other, what do both sides do? They see the greater threat and turn towards the greater threat. That is how this will end. That in third case, yes, of course. The point being is that the winners will have some advantage, like probably just who gets to plant the flag on Nix 1. But in reality, it will be both sides will stop fighting to stop the incursion of the Vanduul. It's the easiest and most simple solution to the problem of like, how do you deal with a story like that if you want to keep the status quo? For 1.0, because they don't want to turn Nix into a UEE system, so they can't turn Nix into a UEE system. If they do it. If they do it, that's how I'm sure they would play it. Because CIG is sort of telegraphing a lot of stuff. It should release with, it should align with Squadron 42 release, yeah. With us fighting a gigantic Vanduul capital ship. Can you let me in, guys? Okay. Whatever. I'm just gonna go down to your little pads. After the Vanderbilt dealt with, do they go back to fighting each other, rinse, repeat? Nah, that'll do some sort of peace council. Basically, both sides will be like, yeah, we probably don't want to keep fighting in case the Vandals show up again, so we need to have some sort of resolution that doesn't involve us beating the fuck out of each other. And making both of our sides weaker while the Vandal are running fucking ape shit in our territories. Okay, that doesn't work. Try a different pad. There are 2 pads. Are there 3 pads? Yeah. It probably doesn't even involve that. It probably is going to involve Intersect becoming the UEE's arm and the PAL recognizing the right of Intersect to operate inside the borders of NICS for the greater good of humanity, and NICS will be seen as will be recognized as a independent polity separate from the UEE, but will be respected under UEE, that kind of shit. Status quo in all but name. Guys, let me in the fucking door, please. A treaty that lasted for a little bit, then they started trying to kill each other because of the Peloponnesian War. They created a joint alliance specifically against the Persians. I forgot what it was called. All right, I'm gonna do this. Makes sense. It's a great way of adding an event that would be very cool and very immersive, and people would be like, "Oh, I was there for the NICS war," you know. If CIG does the fighting right and the missions right. And it still allows NICS to exist in its current state for 1.0, and then you can tell more stories after that. The response to help desk, did you do the player help desk? Exactly. The UE doesn't just have the Civil War to worry about, they've got Vandal advancing on other fronts. Plus, as I've talked about, the likelihood of the coming third Tavaran War.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
You can take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No pews.
But you can never,
Never.
ever
Ever.
take away my space game.
N1GHTCOB just resubscribed for 46 months. How goes the life of a smuggler? Looks a little too easy. Whatever happened to patrol ships anyway?
Thank you so much for that. 46 months of support. You're very important, pupper, very impressive, best very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Hold on. Well, the game's not working, so that's what's happening. We're back to this, I see. Okay. I'm gonna exit the main menu, and maybe that'll fix some of the problems. It seemed to be just around this location, but we're back to this to the problem we were having yesterday, which is just ships won't spawn. You think we'll see the Xi'an when they add Castra? Probably. At some point, I would say. But I don't know if we're going to see it directly. We do know that Xi'an are part of Squadron. In the sense that we have the Xi'an models we've seen in Squadron, and we've seen the Xi'an Cartual. So the Xi'an have some stuff done. Are you still planning on coming on to the Captain's Table today, Nightcob? I know I didn't reach out earlier, but like I was thinking like, I don't have to do a Captain's Table. But then you were like, hey, I'm available. I'm like, let's see if other people are available. So I got Axis and Griffin possibly, so. Let's see. Yep, still good. I still got 4 hour, almost 3 hours to go. I've been going for 2.5 hours. But yeah, no, I want more patrols to come back. I also want roving patrols in Pyro to attack you if you're, you know, doing trade. Do. That's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit. Holy fuck. I could do that one. That's a lot of stuff too. Let's do that one. Teaser Spaceport. Let's go to Rods.
retrieval system.
You're right. I'm not sure what to make of these citizens for prosperity. Do they actually think they can make a difference? Just keep wondering what's in it for them.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
What's been going on with you?
Been trying to get away from cities lately. Just been feeling overwhelmed way too often. Let's get some break.
God fucking damn it, it's right back to what it was before.
Please visit us again.
Bastard probably couldn't have gone far.
Basically, you can, I can no longer spawn any ships. The ASOP's been failing. Its inventory is spotty, but ASOP is failing, and it's also causing the servers or the missions to fail as well. Like missions don't spawn. So now I'm at the point where I can only spawn where my ships are located.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
So like I can try.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
I'm just gonna wait here for a moment. I'm so pissed off. I'm definitely not streaming tomorrow. This is a problem that's persistent, and I think CIG is solving the problem by just turning the servers off and turning them back on because they don't have anyone to fix the problem. So they're just going to reset the servers every day, every couple of hours, so that they can do server maintenance, so they can get things to work again. I have a feeling that's what's going to be like for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, Paul, the weird thing I'm running into with my friend's error, everything points to an AMD issue. Huh, that's weird. You mean the second maintenance? There's been 2 over the last day. And I'm still having the exact same problems. It did seem to solve the problem initially. This morning when I started, it was fine.
ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected.
If it's already here, it should be retrievable. But if you have to claim it, no, you're fucked. So, hey, question. How do you change the thing to do DX instead of Vulkan? Options, graphics renderer. I don't know. There is it's like a 0 to a 1 in the settings file, or 1 to a 0.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
I'm gonna switch servers and see if that helps. If it doesn't, yeah. I'm gonna give it another shot. Yeah, go get some sleep, dude. I know you've been sick like me, so good luck, bud. Oh. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna pause the timer and we'll run the timer out for Captain's Table. But what I'll basically do is I'll end the stream and I'll restart it again at around 2. So give myself like 2 hours to kind of do other things other than stare at Star Citizen failing over and over again because CIG doesn't know how to make a game. Yeah, I'll probably raid somebody else outside of Scam Citizen.
Welcome
Fuck.
to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Let's see, does this work? No. Still problems. It's literally the same problem that they had
Vehicle selected. Your
yesterday.
vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Yep. No, this is the problem, there, QPan, is that this happens every year where CIG just pushes a broken patch. At least last year they had the decency to have 4.0 and 3.2 whatever. Like they had both of them up, so they didn't have a broken shitty mess on top of just release.
Please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected. Stand by.
Yeah, I would play the shit out of 4-4. It actually worked. It's how we celebrate the new year, man. Bitching about Star Citizen CIG is tradition now, and some. It doesn't always have to be that way, but CIG wants to force it that way. They made their own bed. They sleep in it.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
I don't anticipate January being a very good year for a month for them in terms of funding.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Vehicle selected. Stand by.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll find somebody else. I'm calling it. I'm pausing the stream. We'll do Captain's Table later, but I need to, like, take a break. This is 2 days in a row of, like, utter hog shit in trying to play the game. So I'll send you to somebody who isn't playing Star Citizen so you can get a better experience. If you were thinking about playing Star Citizen, my response to you right now is don't. Really don't. You're rolling the dice. What do I have who's not playing Star Citizen? Still a lot of people playing Star Citizen, so maybe it's just me. No, I'll have to send you to Meyer. I don't really have anybody who's not playing Star Citizen. Meyer will at least be entertaining. Thank you all for this. I will see you in a couple of hours for Captain's Table.
Goodbye.
We'll do a giveaway then. Thanks for everything, y'all. Sorry about this. I just can't force myself to smash my face against the window for 2.5 hours. I have too much self-respect to do that. Love y'all. I'll see you in a few hours. And if I don't, have a good, happy new year. Have a happy holidays and happy new year, y'all.